Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See detail.
There's no better feeling than a personal win. And the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you do just that. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
And now, live from the TCL broadcast studios, it's Joe Souchere and Patrick Royce with Sports Talk.
We got to clear up some old business.
All righty, I'm ready.
Frequent emailer Tom Wilson writes you, once again, Pat kills off somebody who is not dead.
Who?
Dick Butt is still with us, alive and tweeting.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
He was...
He's 88.
Wow. I miss him on TV.
Mm-hmm.
He was very good. He was very good explaining to us what was going on. But I told you that when I was at the Olympics, the Winter Olympics in Calgary, which was, I believe, the first Winter Olympics I'd covered, all my sports writing buddies, the figure skating was huge up there then because of Debbie Thomas and Katarina and Elizabeth Manley and fighting for the gold medal. And then we also had Botano versus Orser for the gold medal in the men. And all my buddies were stealing from Dick, his stuff. Mm-hmm. But I, being the clever guy that I am, would watch Canadian TV where they had Toller Cranston, who was the Dick Button of Canada, and I'd have different stuff to plagiarize and put in there as though it was inside. It was fantastic.
Hi, Patrick.
So,
baby.
yes, there she is. Wonder how Katarina's looking these days.
Probably pretty good.
I can't.
I'll try to fall. She would have had a long way to fall.
Did she ever? She must have gotten married somewhere. But she's kind of disappeared, man. She hasn't. She hasn't.
How long is this word I can't say going to stay on the club?
Miguel. Well, he. I don't know if he's got a hit today, but he did hit a home run yesterday.
Big deal.
Yeah. He did not take that last cut he took there, but Tonsis was kind of a no chance or a whale, but that happened.
See you later, Miguel.
He did walk and score on the Escobar home run.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
He almost just struck out.
He almost had a nice double.
He only struck out both times today. I believe he got called out on strikes, but that's okay. Now we go to the bottom of the ninth, and Fernando Rodney.
We'll make it interesting.
It's only 3-1. There'll be two guys on base before this half inning. I'm not predicting gloom, but there'll be two guys on base before this half inning's over. We know that.
What is the format in New Orleans at the Zurich Golf Tournament? They're playing as twosomes, as teams. What is the format? Here.
They did something goofy last year. Yeah, they did.
No, here, look.
They did something goofy last year. Yep. They changed it up, and I guess it's just a team competition. But I remember they changed it because they weren't getting a very good field. And
see how they do it there?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Huh?
I don't like it.
You do like it?
Don't like it.
No, I don't either.
I don't like it.
I disapprove.
Just play your own golf ball.
That's right. What are they playing? A scramble?
Oh, I suppose one day they're playing best ball, and the next day they're playing, hit.
Okay, so let's say you're on the winning team and you win it. Do both guys get the benefits of a victory?
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, they get both guys go to the Masters.
I guess it's an official. I think it's an official event, so probably. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I don't approve.
I don't.
But remember, they tried that. They tried the thing out in Colorado for years with the different scoring system too. The Stableford scoring system. They don't do that anymore.
Go away.
But you got 5 for an eagle and 3 for a birdie and 2 for a par and a -2 for a bogey.
What do I get for an 8 for a snowman?
Yeah, right.
I would have been very familiar with that scoring.
That's right. That's right. Well, you could use
that would be called an other.
You can use You can use the old formula of a guy that I used to work with at the St. Paul paper who shall go nameless. Never took more than an 8 and never took more than 3 putts. If it wasn't in the hole, that was it. It was nope. If he was on the green in 4, and even if he had an 80-footer, the most he could make was 7.
Is he still with us?
Yeah, that guy's still with us. Yes, he is. But it was
A firm oil?
no, God,
I don't think it's Fermi.
Fermi would be proud to count them all just so he could tell you all about them. My annual round with Fermi is off the books, though. The Augie has last year was the 20th and the last Augie. Yeah, so I said, people said, do you golf? I said, yes, once a year off Mike Fermoil's ball. Long on me and Rowe and then Fermi, and he hits his drive, and then we hit from where he landed.
You guys hack away.
Then he hits his next shot. Then we hit from where that landed, and then we putt. That's the way that works. So
What is he doing?
what?
Fernando was just doing something really strange.
He's
Doing a little prayer.
loosening up.
Little prayer before.
I didn't know he wore the skull cap.
Yeah, underneath the
He does.
underneath the sideways ball
I didn't
cap.
know that. That's probably to keep it on. It's got a little stickum on there for the
Could
side.
be.
Right?
Yeah, it could be. A few of the guys.
Yeah, poor Fernando's got to face the middle of this monstrous thing too. Here, Didi.
And it's Didi hasn't homered yet today, so he's probably due.
Yeah. See, he's got good stuff.
Did you like him last night playing in the fog? Did you catch
That
any
was
of that?
weird,
I
wasn't
love
it?
that. I
It
love
wasn't
that.
it. It was absolutely the hound of the basketball,
Oh, it was,
man.
yeah.
It was like
That reminds me. What does this new Yankee Stadium seat? Does it seat? It doesn't seat as much as
not
the old.
quite as many.
Okay.
No.
The one thing
The original seated like 70, and then they downsized it to about 55, and now I think it's a little underneath.
Because every time I watch a game, unless it's a playoff game or when they play the Red Sox, the stadium always looks half empty.
Well, it's like every other ballpark now. They got plenty of standing areas, and the
Hey,
whole
Tampa
thing.
has a pitcher who's ripping off Fernando's hat deal. I saw him the other night in Tampa.
Oh man,
Oh, look at this. Are you
Twinkle
kidding
toes.
me? Unbelievable. Let's take a break.
That's all he needed.
No, we don't
What
need a break
happened?
yet.
It went by Morrison,
Miguel
threw it in the ground.
kind of he made a decent play. It should have been an out, but it looks like Morrison wasn't able to scoop it properly.
Okay, so basically this is 2 innings in a row of errors, right?
That's why he is not your third baseman. But that's
you
a
gotta
play
catch that.
Morrison's got
You
to
gotta
make.
If
catch
you're going to
that.
make a defensive change late in the game, why isn't Mauer playing first base?
I don't know. You don't want to lose the DH.
No, that's true. All right. Well, anyway.
Should we do the post-mortem on the Timberwolves when we come back?
Sure.
Good. You'll have one for us, because I don't have one.
All right, let's hear it. Yeah. Yeah.
Would you have got a call from Augie?
Augie would have been on the boy. Just think how well Augie could have called in the cell phone era. He would have. That would have been a
Yankees 4, Twins 3.
So they hit a ground ball to Big Tubby at third. He falls down. He gets up. He throws it. A little short hop. Logan Morrison looks like a pregnant elephant trying to catch it. It goes by him. Then they hit a chopper to him.
To who?
Sano, and
He runs into the shortstop.
he and the shortstop run into each other, so they can't throw out Aaron Judge. And then Gary Sanchez hits a 3-run homer.
Well, there shouldn't have been 2 runners on base.
And the Twins come flying home with a 7-game losing streak. And by the way, those 2 games in Cleveland don't count the 2 games in San Juan don't count as road games. So
'Cause the Twins were the home
This
team,
is an
yeah.
07 road trip.
Mm-hmm.
When's the last 07 road trip, I wonder? Oh, they
and we started 0-9 in 2015.
but
How many of those
weren't
were
all
on the road?
Some of them, they came home and got swept too.
Well, the boys are rapidly sinking in the tradition-laden AL Central.
Yes, they are. But Twinkle Toes at third had a bad inning there.
I don't have him on my club. I don't care if he hits me a home run every 4 weeks. Go away.
Well, it'll be nice weather this weekend, and there will be tickets available.
All right, your postseason Timberwolves wrap up.
Well, they were playing a much better team. Mm-hmm. B, they hung in there for a half, but once the threes started going down, they're in trouble. C, they kind of packed it in the fourth quarter. Andrew Wiggins did nothing, got everybody mad at him again because he was very passive. After playing well for the first 3 games of this series, he was terrible in the second half on Monday and terrible last night. And but bottom line is they have got to learn how to shoot the three-pointer. They don't have three-point shooters, and everything else is, everything else in the new league. You got to make 12 three-pointers a night.
I hate to interrupt you, Patrick, but we've been blessed with kind of a special opportunity here on Sports Talk. Joe, it's draft day here on 1500 ESPN.
Yeah.
And for whatever
reason. Can he call in the next hour?
I think he's on a time limit.
Who are we talking about?
Well,
I need you to punch.
This is not going to be the time to do the joke. Can we tell? I just think it would be better if it occurred later. Okay.
Why doesn't somebody tell me what's going on, and I'll tell you whether it'll work or not?
Randy from Cottage Grove, do you want to talk to him?
Is he the guy who calls Judd and Phil?
Yes, you want to talk to him?
And he's mad because Judd and Phil didn't give him the correct platform on draft day.
Okay. All right. Okay, we got the mayor on involved. Hello, Randy.
Yeah, well, first of all, I was going to do my entire draft with those guys.
Sounds like Speedy from the old days.
Yes, it does.
They cut me down to just doing my Vikes only pitch, and that was disappointing. But I just called real quick to see if you guys might want to maybe not talk about baseball or things like that. It's draft day, so time to dig in and time to put strap on the cleats and let's talk about the draft. Who do you think we're going to take?
Who's available?
I think we're going to take Frank Ragnow, the offensive lineman from Arkansas and Chanhassen High School.
Well, okay. I mean, he's as I like to say, he's a ball player for sure. I mean, the number one thing I think that you're going to see a lot in this draft.
Wait, Randy. Randy.
Yeah.
Did you have a falling out with Phil and Judd?
I mean, they don't talk enough football, if you ask me. It's a lot of hockey, a lot of basketball.
But I thought you were exclusive to their show.
No,
I know. I run my own operation. Okay?
You're a free agent. You're a free agent.
Okay.
I can. Who wants me is what I say, and that's where I'll go. So we'll see how I did. I did my Vikes mock on there, so I ain't gonna redo it out of respect for their program. But I'll say this: we're gonna have a lot of big bruisers. We take the next couple 2-3 days, and you'll just see. Okay, Rick's got some plans,
Yep.
And I think we're all gonna be very, very pleased.
Hey, Randy. Oh, no.
He was in and he was out.
He said enough.
We're going to be very, very
a lot of big
pleased.
bruisers, and we're going to be pleased.
You know what?
Okay.
That's not a bit with him.
No, God, no.
Oh, no.
That's him.
I wonder, too, how much, Randy gleaned from what Rick gave out as information yesterday at his press conference, if that altered Randy's mock draft in any way, because we did learn that Rick wants to draft good football players.
He does.
Yesterday at his press conference.
Okay.
Thank goodness.
Or 2 days ago, right? Or was it only yesterday? Was it only yesterday?
Yep.
Did Rick said that? Okay. Well, I got to admit, Randy didn't really hit home with me because I'm still traumatized by what I just watched here with the Fighting Twins. So.
Reeves,
Yes, sir.
would you do me a favor?
Sure.
Would you look up this Zurich Classic? Mm-hmm. It's the current golf tournament. It's taking place in New Orleans. And try to provide for me a description of the format they're using.
Zurich Classic 2018.
Because they're playing as twosomes, as teams against another twosome. And I don't understand what's happening, and I desperately want your help. Randy from Cottage Grove, maybe he's doing a bit on us. Hey,
No.
Sally, what are you doing?
No, I'm fine. No, Randy is into it. Randy is into it. He loves the NFL. He loves the draft.
You can sense his passion.
That's his whole deal. But a couple of years ago, he mocked He did you know what a mock draft is?
I do.
know?
You kind of
He did-
anticipate what the draft would be.
He did
7 rounds.
7 rounds for every team.
Wow.
So that's 7 times
Oh, my
32.
God, he did. He should be locked up.
It's
250,
something like that.
250.
A small tweak in the format of the Zurich Classic in New Orleans looks to ensure the Senate. Well, last year played alternate shot foursomes on Thursday and Saturday and 4-ball on Friday and Sunday. The order will be flipped this time
I'll be
around.
damned.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Thank you.
But it's a team
It's
competition.
gimmickry BS is what it is.
All right, to review,
Yep.
Here we go.
the
In review.
Timberwolves.
Yep.
Losing 5. Everybody irate about Wiggins, and of course they're mad at Thibodeau too. We have not heard any news today on whether owner Taylor and Tibbs have sat down. They'll probably sit down tomorrow or sometime this weekend to discuss what they're going to do here roster-wise. Jimmy Butler left the game with 6-7 minutes to go, bad knee. And now you wonder whether he was just disgusted with the effort he was seeing or if he just couldn't go any longer. They were on their way to defeat. And that's the Timberwolves situation.
Mm-hmm.
Twins situation, in case you missed it, folks. You start the ninth inning with a 3-1 lead. They hit a ground ball to Sano. He kind of falls down, and then he gets up and he short hops Logan Morrison, and Logan Morrison should have had a net. It went by him. He ended up at second base. Then they hit another one, and Sano and Escobar kind of run into each other, and Sano eats it. So now that's with Aaron Judge running. I'm not sure if he ate it because he thought Judge was going to beat it out or if he got messed up on the throw. So anyway, should be 2 outs, nobody on. Instead, there's 2 on, nobody outs, and Gary Sanchez gets a high inside fastball, right, and hits it down the left field line.
They look like the
Yankees
1962 Mets.
The Yankees win 4-3.
Mm-hmm. Can't anybody here play this game?
I said Barnum and Bailey is back in the Bronx.
It is. It really is.
They went out of business,
Jeez.
but now the Ringley brothers.
Holy mackerel!
Yeah, it's not good. So anyway, that's what's going on. What a week in Minnesota sports here. When was the 5-0 game in Winnipeg?
The Wild? That was
last Friday.
Last
night.
Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So we are now, this is 1 week, 7 days. What a 7-day period, isn't it? The Wild go down in humiliation, fire the general manager. The Timberwolves give up the second most points in a period in the playoff history of the NBA, 50. And then they really have no chance last night in Houston. Rumors of lot of turmoil among the players, and now this. And then meanwhile, the Twins get swept 4 straight in New York and have a 0-7 road trip.
7-game losing streak.
0-7 road trip. Yes.
And they've been gone from the friendly confines.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
They last played 2 weeks ago. Last played a home game 2 weeks ago today.
That's right.
Because they got snowed out the next 3. And then they went to San Juan for 2. And then they went to Tampa for 3. And then they went to New York for 4. So anybody going to meet him at the airport? I think we should meet him at the airport. Try to encourage
Let's see how that
him.
works.
They come into Terminal 2, right?
Remember when Herb
think so,
Carneal
yeah.
would announce that?
Yes.
For his
so
wife.
Kathy didn't know when to pick him up. And it looks like the Twins will be landing at 8:15. And nobody'd say, why is he saying that? Because he was telling Kathy back home what time to pick him up.
Sports Talk will return shortly. Now, thanks to our great friends in Owatonna, Minnesota at Federated Insurance, where it's their business to protect your business, and nobody does that better than Federated. It's Bruce Vail of the Wall Street Journal and Your Money Now.
And we had a good day today. Stocks rallied, led by the tech sector after a strong round of corporate earnings reports. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 238 points, closing at 24,322. The Nasdaq Composite rose 114 points, and the S&P 500 gained 27. Governor Mark Dayton has declared today University of Minnesota Medical School Day in recognition of the 100 130-year anniversary of its founding by the University Regents. Back on April 26, 1888, University Regents formally added the College of Medicine and Surgery to the curriculum offered to students in the state. 20th Century Fox is teaming up with a new technology company on what could be the first interactive movie from a major Hollywood studio. Fox said it is developing a choose-your-own-adventure film like the book series will let audiences decide between different narrative paths. The movie will use new technology from Kino Industries that will require viewers to download and use a new app while watching the movie in theaters. I'm Bruce Vail with your Money Now on 1500 ESPN.
Okay, thank you very much, Bruce. We're going to let you go and check traffic here. This one's sponsored by Dickies, and we'll start with westbound 94, the outbound crowd stacking up now right around Maple Grove Parkway, riding the brakes all the way up to Rogers. It's due to an earlier incident prior to 101 in Rogers. It looks like it may have cleared. If you're traveling between the downtowns, both directions of 94, they're hovering right around the 15-minute mark. Dickie's Barbecue Pit, where the very best quality meats are slow smoked for 14 hours every day. Dickie's now delivers right to your door. When you're ready to eat, head to dickies.com.
Corner House.
Here's John Height.
Well, thank you, Joe. Sunny and 66 degrees. If you missed it, Gary Sanchez with
We didn't miss it, John.
Three-run homer in the bottom of the ninth inning. Yankees beat the Twins this afternoon 4-3, finish off the four-game sweep. The Twins have lost 7 straight. They did get a pretty nice start from Kyle Gibson. He went 6 innings, gave up 1 hit, and struck out 10. That's his career high.
Then why did he get pulled after 6?
95 pitches.
Oh, so what? God bless America. Let him throw 110. How about that? Would you give him 10 more?
You and Rivers agree on that.
Would you give him 10 more?
Although it still wouldn't have done anything about the ninth inning.
Well, that's
because you still would have had Fernando and you still would have had Big Fatty at third.
Yep.
Well, it started because they pinch hit Morrison for Escobar, which led to the defensive switching.
Why did they do that?
I don't know.
Escobar's a better hitter than Morrison by 20 miles.
It makes me question the manager a little bit.
Yeah, he had 2 days in a row, I've screamed at my radio driving home, saying, "What in the bleep are you doing, sir?"
The really bad part about this is now tonight, my Facebook feed, I'm going to have 6 different people complaining about Fernando Rodney's hat. Not about the way he pitches, but about his hat.
And this is his 4th blown save. 3 of them have been screw-ups in the field. 3 of them have been provided by the team behind him.
Twins now return home to open up a series against Cincinnati.
I got a hunch that one won't pack the place.
Tickets will be available.
Well, it'll at least be pleasant to be outside.
Yes, it will, but it'll be unpleasant to see the 2 worst teams in baseball.
NFL draft. That seems a bit harsh. NFL draft tonight. Tune in here to keep up. Mackie and Judd will be in studio starting at 6 o'clock. Matthew Collar and Courtney Cronin will be out at Vikings headquarters. Vikes, as of right now anyway, pick 30th in this first round.
And listen in, because when they get to 29th, they're going to make a trade and they won't make a pick tonight, but that's okay.
That's Reaver's wish. All those people down at the party.
No, they're gonna trade. He's got to get the 4th rounder back. I can smell a rat from here. I can smell the Spielman rat from here.
News notes from today. Schools, businesses, hospital patients ordered to evacuate Superior, Wisconsin today after explosions rocked that oil refinery south of the Lake Superior Harbor City. Giant plume of oily black smoke spreading for miles after the series of explosions that began shortly after 10 this morning. Officials ordered people to leave an evacuation zone that covered 78 square miles around the Husky Energy refinery. About 2 this afternoon, Essentia Health St. Mary's Hospital in Superior shut down, closed its emergency room, and transferred all patients to Essentia Health St. Mary's in Duluth. 3 schools included in the evacuation zone plan to bus children to the Amsoil facility parking lot, according to the Superior Police Department. The evacuation zone included Superior neighborhoods South Superior, East End, Aloaz, and Itasca. The initial blast happened shortly after 10, shook a nearby golf course, rattled offices in Superior's business district.
Somebody having a heater, Johnny? Do we have any idea?
No idea at this point. 6 people out of 20 injured were taken to the hospital, according to the Superior
You should
Fire
see
Department.
the oil pouring out of one of these tanks.
Oh,
It's
is that
coming
right?
out stronger than Minnehaha Falls and thicker. It's unbelievable.
Going right into the lake or what?
No, it's going onto the ground right next to it. Looks like they have some sort of holding pond or something.
So do
there.
we? Is this oil that comes in on big old tankers?
This is crude, and this is a gas refinery. They refine it into gas.
But where are they getting the oil from? Off the ships?
No idea.
There goes your gas prices.
Yeah, that's what
that one doesn't.
That's what everybody's saying.
That one doesn't, I think, do enough. Maybe this area, though. Maybe
You'll forgive me if I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Relatives say the woman last seen nearly...
But nobody died. I'm sorry. Nobody died?
22 injured.
22 injured,
Yeah,
but no death.
6 to the hospital.
All right.
Relatives...
So as you say, the oil prices are slick.
I'm going to skip the next story.
I couldn't resist.
I know you could.
Rear Admiral Ronnie Jackson, the White House physician and President Trump's choice to be the next Veterans Affairs Secretary, withdrawing his nomination now for the appointment today amid questions about his behavior. He announced his withdrawal in a statement. He had met with White House officials last night, according to a senior official, but did not talk about withdrawing his nomination. Jackson did talk about being fatigued by the process and frustrated with the unverified allegations against him that he said are driving the narrative about him before what would have been his confirmation hearing. Before police named him as the man they suspect of killing 12 people and raping scores of women, Joseph D'Angelo was a police officer for the Auburn, California Police Department. His former chief talked with CBS Sacramento today. He said there was nothing really while he was working at the police department that would say he was a mass murderer, serial rapist, or burglar. Willick was D'Angelo's boss at the Auburn Police Department from 1976 to 79, first as his sergeant, then as his chief. He remembers D'Angelo as an average cop. A picture of D'Angelo printed in the 1979 Auburn Journal newspaper shows him promoting a Babe Ruth baseball fundraiser with the department. Photo taken in the same era D'Angelo is alleged to have killed and raped dozens of victims. Soon after the photo was taken, Willick fired D'Angelo for shoplifting. According to Willick, D'Angelo was caught stealing a can of dog repellent and a hammer from a convenience store. Willick said, if I remember correctly, he didn't have a hearing. I think he waived his hearing. He was prosecuted. We terminated him based on the facts of the case. Willick says the shoplifting case did not appear to change D'Angelo's alleged East Area rapist crime spree. Willick said, looking at the history of the crimes, nothing slowed down. If anything, it seemed to accelerate.
Johnny, did you see what just happened about 15 minutes ago at Southern Illinois Carbondale, home of Walt Frazier, or also known as Clyde the Glide?
I did not.
Jerry Kill is the new acting athletic director.
Really?
The other athletic director did not have his contract renewed. Jerry will remain the special assistant to the chancellor, but also take the AD duties. So how about that? He's only been there about a month, 2 months maybe.
Is he capable of working in an office on a job?
Well, he's not going to start barking.
Well, no, but I don't mean. I know he can do it, but is his health enough?
He'll have a bunch of assistants, and he's going to give this. This is it's not Division I football. It's so he'll be fine.
Okay.
At Bill
Carbondale. This doesn't have a nice ring to it. I'm not seeing a bucolic setting. Carbondale.
I bet it smells funky.
Yeah, like sulfur.
They might probably have a refinery of some.
Did you read about
there,
Uranus smells like sulfur?
Does it really?
Yep.
How would you know?
No, it's a serious.
They've been working together a long time.
Yes. It was in all the papers.
I recognize his brand.
Wow.
Kenny, what'd you think of Brockmeyer's opening monologue last night?
It was all right.
It wasn't one of his best shows, but the opening monologue was pretty good.
Yeah.
Bill Cosby today, if you missed it, is guilty. We didn't talk about this earlier, but apparently there were some problems when they were talking about whether or not he should get bail. Right after he was found guilty, District Attorney Kevin Steele asked for Cosby's bail to be revoked. He noted the serious charges on which Cosby was just convicted, 3 counts of indecent aggravated sexual assault. Judge Stephen O'Neill pushed back, saying Cosby's bail already was pretty high and that Cosby hadn't missed a single court appearance. When Steele argued for his position, he talked about Cosby's many resources, some of which had already come up during the trial. Steele mentioned an airplane and plane records that had been part of the defense's evidence. As Steele talked about how Cosby can get to, quote, any place in the world, the legendary funny man who's now convicted blurted out, "He doesn't have a plane, you bleep hole." Apparently speaking in the third person about himself about that. He continued to talk, but at that point the court was all a Twitter. Nobody heard what he said, although the people who were closer said it was a bit of a profane statement about the prosecutor. Ultimately, O'Neill was not moved by Steele's arguments, telling the district attorney to file a motion laying out his argument, and then he would rule. He awaits sentencing. It could take months, according to the experts. No date has been set yet for that.
From what I'm hearing, posts on Facebook talking about the fire, it's under the refinery. And people who work there know how bad that is, telling their families to get very, very, very far away.
Why?
Because they're extremely worried. Further explosions, I'm guessing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Investigators trying to determine if severed heads discovered last month near lakes in Texas and Louisiana are part of a gruesome case. The Houston Chronicle reports 2 unidentified victims were white women with reddish hair and good teeth. The heads were found in plastic bags and in similar surroundings, about 150 miles apart at Lake Houston and near Calcasieu.
You know
Lake.
what? We had John Camp today. He can't make it up fast enough, can he?
No.
He was talking about his next book's going to have some cannibalism. Mm-hmm. He can't make it up fast enough.
They're not ahead of him, huh?
Oh.
Can't.
Cameron Parish Sheriff's Office and Houston Police acknowledge similarities in the cases. They're sharing information, but they say they really have no idea what's going on with the case. Volunteers during cleanup made the discovery March 24th on some rocks in one area.
Oh, look at that clock.
It's it's a bad habit, that cannibalism.
Yeah, you chew up one guy, you're a bad guy.
Yeah, right.
Well, we're waiting.
I was just going to speak. Up in Thunder Bay, Ontario, police say a driver pulled over there, had an unusual seating arrangement. Where his driver's seat should have been, he had a folding lawn chair.
I've done that.
You
Seriously,
have?
I have done that.
You had
an
a car
old
that-
Model A, back when I was a teenager.
Was it strapped down or anything, or was it just floating?
They say an officer stopped it. It was just floating, actually. Saw the pickup. Saw a pickup truck on Tuesday afternoon after noticing the license plates were not authorized for that vehicle. When he got up to the driver, police say the officer noticed the suspicious seating arrangement, the driver sitting in the lawn chair right in front of the steering wheel. Police said that wasn't the only thing wrong with the pickup. They say it was impounded for a multitude of defects, including a broken windshield blocking the driver's view, a defective door handle that trapped the driver inside the truck, and no seatbelt buckles. Police say the young driver is charged with a number of offenses related to the condition of the truck, as well as driving with a suspended license and operating a vehicle on a highway with no insurance.
Sounds like the 1941 Ford truck that my old man had in Fulda for years and years and years. 1941.
Well, you know what that'd be worth today? It'd be worth a lot of money.
Well, he let his handyman Frankie Brees borrow it once, and Frankie drove it through the furniture store uptown.
Sure. Which will happen.
He went forward instead of backwards.
That'll happen.
Stuff happens.
Especially when you go uptown.
Took out a sofa.
What did you have? What were you driving when you did the cherry bomb trick?
That was a Ford Fairlane. Might have been the worst car any human being has ever owned.
I'm going to light this and throw this at Billy.
That was the one that would overheat and the lights would go off.
Yeah.
And you'd have to pull off the side of the road for about 15 minutes and let it cool off. That made for a long commute.
Right.
Was that a wagon or a sedan?
No, that was a sedan. I owned that one.
Did you ever check maybe it was low on coolant?
I don't know.
That SOB would freeze up in the middle of July on the equator.
Pat, do you
Well,
know what coolant is?
Yes, I'm just afraid I'm going to pour it in the wrong
thing.
Right. They got so many of those deals in there.
Is that also the same car, Pat, that when the fan dislodged, you call it the propeller?
That was Aunt Peggy's, wasn't it?
No, yeah, that was Aunt Peggy's. That was my brother turned it on and went through the hood and went up in the air.
My God.
We were sitting downtown looking. We thought we launched Sputnik. Way up in the air. The propeller. I I drove it with that slice in the hood for like 2 more years.
What's the car where all the beer bottles rolled forward?
Oh, that was my
All
old
of
man.
them.
That was my old man station. That was my old man station wagon when my brother took his driving test. They did a sudden stop. Boom! About 6 hams bottled. The guy says, "Why don't you come back in a couple of weeks after you clean the car out?"
When you rid the smell.
A woman in Spain has found unexpected fame on social media after many found she bore a striking resemblance to Donald Trump.
It's uncanny.
It really is.
It's
Isn't it?
uncanny.
She looks just like him.
It's uncanny, yes.
Woman in Spain.
The face is where it's uncanny.
She's got to be able to turn that into millions somehow.
And she's beefy, right, John? She's
beefy.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's uncanny. It's his doppelganger.
Not only uncanny, it's unfortunate.
That's right.
A journalist
All right, I'm going to post this right now to the Sports Talk page.
A journalist reporting on farming in northwestern Spain posted on Instagram a picture of Dolores Lees.
Oh, the comments are horrible.
Dressed in farm clothing with a hoe over her shoulder, prompting thousands of responses.
How do you spell that? Lease?
Leis.
Just do Trump woman in Spain. It'll pop right up.
The 64-year-old since has been asked to comment on pressing U.S. policy and international issues. Although she says she's more concerned about a moth plague that are threatening her potato crops. She said, "I say it must be because of the color of my hair." She is different to Trump on one issue, though. She says she does not ever use a cell phone and has little interest in online chatter.
God, she even has the blonde hair. It's unbelievable.
Yep.
Tremendous. This is a tremendous shovel.
You think he won't be able to resist?
Oh, no, he'll be tweeting
She looks
about
nothing
this.
like me. Nothing like me.
German police say they rushed to an apartment in the southwestern town of Neustadt after receiving a call about suspected domestic abuse, only to barge in on a voluntary class on Japanese bondage. Neustadt police said
How's that any different than American
I wonder
bondage?
what distinguishes Japanese bondage.
Neustadt police said
You're tying up Japanese.
I guess.
That's the difference.
Said a concerned neighbor called to report that 2 men were abusing a half-naked woman in a nearby apartment. When police got there, they instead found the tenant, a teacher of Japanese shibari, instructing a couple in the basics of erotic bondage.
Wow.
Something going on out there, Pat.
In a
Tie me up and do anything you want.
Yeah, so I went to the Twins game.
You think you got about 5 minutes? Hey, I ordered the Japanese bondage.
Yeah, right.
They offered the officers the chance to take part in the class, but the police politely declined.
But this was legal in your own home.
Oh,
Is
yes.
that what the
Yeah,
deal
everybody was fine. There was no problem.
Okay.
I am stuck in a pair of handcuffs.
So many people have registered for a very short road race near San Antonio, Texas, that no other folks are being allowed to enroll. This race sounds perfect. It's a 0.5K scheduled for May 5th. Only a 546-yard course.
Oh, just a minute. Yes, Paul.
I saw a good one on the internet recently. Some kids went over to their grandpa's house last week, and then they were showing a photograph of grandpa and his buddies by his helicopter in Vietnam. And then the same kid says, last night my dad showed me a YouTube video on his iPad of a small Asian boy playing Africa by Toto on a rubber chicken.
Okay. That's a little complicated. For
Okay.
me.
Yeah, on a rubber chicken.
On a rubber chicken.
Yeah.
Okay.
A Kansas City suburb is pressuring the owner of a cut-in-half car adorned with a sign reading, "Divorced, she got half," to get rid of the car.
Oh, yeah.
Kansas City Star reports that the half car was created as a joke by the late Edgerton Mayor Ray Braun, who used to own the defunct gas station where the front part of the 87 Chevrolet Citation is parked. Braun fitted the half car with rear caster wheels, used to drive it around in parades in the city. Danny O'Neill now owns the property where the vehicle sits. But City Council President Clay Langenecker says the car has become an eyesore. The Edgerton Codes Department has told O'Neill he has to get rid of it. O'Neill says he plans to go to the City Council and argue it's a landmark and a memorial to Braun.
Hey, John.
Yes.
That's about it, but I got to give you one reminder. This is how we baseball.
This is how we baseball.
This is how we baseball.
I find that infuriating. I really do.
Yes. And
It's
I think they're being punished for the stupidest slogan in the history of sports.
They've turned baseball into a verb.
This is worse than United We Run. David
Scarves
John.
up. Scarves up.
That's Scarves up.
Rook, I can't find the little sounder we need, so there you go.
Gotcha, bro.
Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. It's crazy to think that a few weeks ago we were talking about whether or not Tua Tagovailoa should consider retiring after 2 concussions and worldwide debates on player safety and NFL culpability. Tua has done nothing but go back to work and currently has the Dolphins riding a 3-game win streak and 1 loss behind the division favorite Buffalo Bills. While everyone was yapping about the end of his career, Tua Tagovailoa said he'll decide when it's time. And clearly, he's not ready to hang up the cleats. Hi, this is Chris Howard from the Plugged In with Chris Howard podcast. BetOnline.net is your number one source for betting football and the start of the new basketball season. Find all the latest player developments, team matchups, news, podcasts, and in-depth analysis on every game. BetOnline remains your continued source for all your sports wagering information with live betting, up-to-the-minute scores for the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite games and events, including the MLB playoffs, the start of the NHL season, MMA, boxing, and golf. And if you love sports podcasts, you can find those at BetOnline as well. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts.